State-to-state combat. With 5 days to go, Bush and Gore play a high-stakes game of hopscotch that will decide the presidency and possibly the future of Social Security. I'll ask the candidates face-to-face about possible changes. Amid talk of peace, new violence in the Middle East. And CBS has new information about the cause of the Singapore Airlines crash.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. The presidential campaign is closing hot, tight, and negative. Texas Governor George Bush is closing attacking by questioning Vice President Gore's character. Gore shot back today, questioning whether Bush is up to the job of president. It's all part of the scramble to reach the 270 electoral votes needed to win next Tuesday. Bush and Gore didn't just cross swords today, they crossed paths in big electoral vote states. Both stumped for votes in Illinois. CBS's Bill Whitaker and John Roberts are there. First, correspondent Whitaker on the Bush campaign. Bill?
Dan, as Election Day gets closer, Bush's crowds get bigger and more enthusiastic, inspired by the belief that after 8 years, a Republican might actually recapture the White House. In the suburbs outside Chicago, Bush and running mate Dick Cheney were greeted by thousands of pumped-up supporters, and Bush fanned their passions further by criticizing Vice President Al Gore.
On all the big issues confronting this nation, our message on November 7th will be loud and clear. You've had your chance. You have not led, and we will.
Campaign staffers say from now until Election Day, Bush plans no let-up, pressing his theme of smaller government, crystallizing his differences with Al Gore.
This is a man who's proposed more new federal spending than Michael Dukakis and Walter Mondale combined.
Illinois is leaning toward Gore, but Bush believes it's winnable. In Missouri, the race is so close, the campaign planes were bumping into each other. The Bush crowd there was so fired up, it gladly overlooked a factual fumble.
They want the federal government controlling the Social Security like it's some kind of federal program.
Now, it is a federal program that Bush hopes to partially privatize, but for his partisan crowds, that doesn't matter. From now until Election Day, Bush will be hitting states he thinks he can win. 9 more states over the next 4 days. Dan?
Bill Whitaker. This may be one reason the Gore camp has approached at least 2 broadcast television networks, ABC and CBS, about possibly buying 30 minutes of prime time on Sunday or Monday. This in addition to Gore stumping and stopping in places such as Chicago today. John Roberts is covering the Gore drive to come from behind.
Hello, Chicago!
Al Gore is still trailing in most national polls, but today he declared he has the Texas governor right where he wants him.
Let me tell you what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that on Tuesday we're going to carry Illinois big.
The strategy all along, his campaign claims, was to lure George Bush into states that voted twice for Bill Clinton, force the governor to spend time and money there, then pummel him on Election Day with an extensive get-out-the-vote operation.
My message and yours to George Bush is we are not going back. We're going forward and onward and upward to better times.
It's either an elaborate trap or a fool's game. Some of those states are now leaning toward Bush. Others are still within the margin of error, including Pennsylvania, which weeks ago seemed firmly in Gore's column. He was back there again this morning, pleading for voters to come out on Tuesday.
So will you join with me? Will you bring your friends and family? Are you with me?
The Gore campaign says its internal polling shows the vice president moving ahead in many of those battlegrounds. The Bush campaign, on the other hand, claims a similar advantage. But there is one potentially significant number to take note of tonight. In just the past week, there's been an uptick in Democratic voters' enthusiasm for the vice president. And in an election where turnout will be key, that could be a deciding factor. Dan?
John Roberts. The Los Angeles Times reports that the Gore camp said thanks but no thanks to President Clinton going to big city rallies in several battleground states. The president did go to California tonight for events including a rally in Los Angeles. The agenda, fundraising and building enthusiasm and turnout for Gore and for congressional candidates who could help Democrats retake the House. With the presidential race apparently as close as it is at this moment, there is good reason to go back and check the rule book for presidential elections and to know your history. CBS's Bob Schieffer has done just that and joins us now. Bob?
Well, Dan, you are right. This election is expected to be so close. One candidate could win the popular vote but lose the vote that counts in the Electoral College. Remember now, the candidate who gets the most votes in each state gets that state's electoral votes, which are allotted according to population. California, with a population of 31 million, has the most electoral votes, 54. Low population states like the Dakotas have only 3. With 538 electoral votes at stake, a candidate needs 270 to win. So it's possible, for example, that Gore could carry California and New York, where he's favored, and need only 14 additional states and the District of Columbia to win the presidency. If Bush carried the rest, he'd no doubt win the popular vote, but lose the election. That hasn't happened since 1888, when Grover Cleveland got more votes than Benjamin Harrison, but lost the presidency as Harrison piled up a big lead in the Electoral College. Then there's the real nightmare. When it's this close, an Electoral College tie is possible. That last happened with Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr in 1800. As it was then, a tie would mean the next president would be selected by the House of Representatives. In 1801, it took the House 36 ballots to select Jefferson. By the way, it would be the new Congress, the one elected Tuesday, that would pick the new president. How would it be done? Each state gets one vote, and each state congressional delegation would decide how to cast it. That presents interesting possibilities. For example, Bush should carry his home state, Texas, in a landslide. But the Texas congressional delegation will probably have more Democrats than Republicans. Would they vote on party lines and cast the Texas vote for Gore? Several Texas Democrats have already said probably not, but it would be their choice. And here is one that is often overlooked in an electoral tie. Who selects the vice president? Well, some might say who cares, but the answer is the Senate does, Dan.
Bob Schieffer, still ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News, face-to-face with Bush and Gore on possible changes for Social Security. And did a simple mistake cause the Singapore Airlines disaster?
Time to buy Montero Sport. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for an entire year on our best-selling Mitsubishis. Hurry, this deal ends soon.
Attention content enthusiasts, come to Contentville. We have content, nothing but content, whatever your passion.
I really like Russian literature. Sometimes I like to bake.
Whatever your interest.
Well, I like to read. Research? I like research.
We sell content you can download, content that comes to your door.
This is different.
Content in all its glorious forms.
Content? As in something inside of a content?
No, we sell speeches, screenplays, e-books.
E-books are great.
We ship magazines within 24 hours. We have expert advice from America's leading independent bookstores, experts with independent opinions. We sell legal documents, archives, millions of books, all at great prices.
Oh, really?
Join the multitudes. Come to Contentville, where content is king and readers rejoice.
Israel insists tonight it is standing by a new ceasefire agreement with Yasser Arafat's Palestinian Authority. But as CBS's David Hawkins reports, such words mean little after another day of violence, including a deadly bombing in Jerusalem itself.
The car bomb blew up in a narrow street near West Jerusalem's busiest open-air market. Witnesses said the Mazda sedan, packed with explosives and nails, was blocked from entering the market by a van unloading furniture. Israel has been nervously anticipating a terrorist strike for weeks, saying the recent release of militants from Palestinian jails amounts to a green light to terrorists from Yasser Arafat.
It is very sad that we needed this terrorist attack in the heart of Jerusalem to prove our point.
Arafat, however, condemned the car bomb attack.
We are against it completely.
Only 20 minutes before the blast, he had issued a statement calling on Palestinians to use only peaceful means in their struggle for independence. The marketplace bombing happened as a ceasefire was supposed to go into effect. Israeli tanks and troops had already begun pulling back from flashpoints, and Palestinian police worked to keep back protesters. Now that's all up in smoke. Tonight there are more gun battles in the occupied territories and on the outskirts of Jerusalem. This latest ceasefire attempt over before it even started. David Hawkins, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Officials in Taiwan said today at least 81 people died in Tuesday's Singapore Airlines crash, including 23 Americans. And as CBS first reported last night, it appears a simple error may have doomed the plane. CBS's Bob Orr has new information indicating the 747 may indeed have turned straight toward disaster.
Sources say investigators now are focusing on a catastrophic cockpit error as the most likely cause of the crash of Singapore Airlines Flight 006. CBS News has learned evidence at the crash scene strongly suggests the accident happened when the Boeing 747 began its takeoff roll in stormy weather on the wrong runway, a runway that was closed for construction. The jumbo jet with 179 people on board was cleared to take off on a runway designated as 5 left. Air traffic tapes reveal that the pilots confirmed that clearance, repeating 5 left. But sources say the pilots apparently made a mistake, turned too early, and started speeding down parallel runway 5 right instead. As the jet reached 145 miles an hour, just short of takeoff speed, it apparently collided with construction equipment on the closed runway. Sources tell CBS News there are no skid marks on 5 left, no sign that the jumbo jet was ever on its assigned runway, and there is no evidence that the plane skidded across the grass median from 5 left to 5 right.
Also, there are signs the construction equipment was hit head-on by the jet. Singapore Airlines has suggested the equipment may have been damaged by flying wreckage when the broken jet shot across the airfield, but the evidence now seems to suggest otherwise. Dan?
Bob Orr. With its first crew aboard, the International Space Station is finally both up and running. Tonight, after docking today, the crew, an American and 2 Russians, opened the hatch, flicked on the lights, and moved in. Officials also let them name the place, at least for the 4 months they're aboard, call it Space Station Alpha. Next year on CBS, eye to eye, face to face with the presidential candidates over what, if any, changes they have in mind for Social Security.
Look! Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Lysol presents Facts of Life.
Lizard.
Fact: the more germs on an object, the more desirable it becomes. Fact: a child who shares nothing else will share the cold bug. Fact: Lysol spray kills 99.9% of germs in seconds, and it's the best because it's the brand pediatricians trust most in their own homes. Fact: you can protect a child from anything but himself. Life demands Lysol. That's a fact.
I don't have to worry about my dentures slipping. When I use Super Polygrip, I can eat apples, I can eat corn, hard rolls, you name it. Super Polygrip lasts all day long, even through dinner. I thought I would never be able to eat another apple again when I got my dentures. Thanks to Super Polygrip, I don't have that problem.
Flood could be a lot closer than you think. Comprehensive flood insurance. Talk to your agent or call 1-888-FLOOD-ALERT.
So I can order HBO, right?
Yes, sir. Actually, 7 of them.
So it's got a pretty clear picture then?
100% digital quality.
Football?
Up to 13 NFL games every Sunday if you want them.
I love you.
I know, sir.
Now get free professional installation when you buy a DirecTV system and sign up for Total Choice programming.
Hi.
CBS is digging deeper now into what could be a big factor election night, especially for seniors. possible changes in Social Security. The latest CBS News poll shows Gore may lead Bush by about 11 points among older voters. So tonight we go beyond the campaign rhetoric on this key issue. I flew out to question in person Bush and Gore about Social Security in separate face-to-face interviews. At almost every campaign stop, we've heard each candidate say what he plans to do about Social Security.
Responsible leadership is one that says this is a problem that we better fix now.
Texas Governor George Bush wants to change it by partially privatizing it, investing portions into the stock market, while Vice President Gore basically wants to keep the system intact and use the current surplus to pay down the national debt.
Under our plan, Social Security will remain financially sound for more than 50 years into the future.
Most economists say neither plan could survive without either increasing taxes or decreasing benefits, news both candidates didn't want to hear. Are you prepared to cut benefits? Do you think it's necessary?
No, I don't think we should cut benefits, and I'll tell you why. There are millions of seniors who are living just about hand to mouth and rely totally on Social Security. And it's all too easy to sit in some ivory tower and say, let's cut Social Security benefits.
Are you prepared to raise taxes then?
Look, I am proposed to do the following. To put the Social Security Trust Fund in a lockbox and protect it from being used for anything other than Social Security.
Do you agree or disagree that once you become president, as opposed to being a candidate, that the choice is either you cut benefits or you increase taxes?
I disagree with that.
That there's really no other way to solve the problem than one of those two hard choices?
No, I disagree with that. I really do. And here's why. There's $2.4 trillion projected surplus in the Social Security Trust from payroll taxes. That's money after seniors' benefits have been fully paid. What I want to do is set aside $1 trillion out of the surplus to let younger workers manage that money under certain guidelines in the private markets so as to get a better rate of return on the money than the current 2% in the private markets. We anticipate that over a reasonable period of time that $1 trillion will become $3 trillion.
What I have done is to propose a plan that will keep it sound for 55 years into the future.
And you can pay for that without increasing the taxes.
That is correct.
Or cutting benefits.
That is correct, but understand that it is a significant change because it would take the interest savings that would otherwise go into general revenue and pump that back into the Social Security Trust Fund.
It is the right way to proceed. It not only will get a better rate of return for people's money, but for the first time, we're going to have a Social Security trust where somebody has got their own asset that they can pass on from one generation to the next. It is a powerful, powerful argument. And one of the reasons I'm going to do well in this campaign is because there's a lot of younger workers, both Republican and Democrat, who know full well, if we don't think differently on Social Security, Dan, that these folks are going to have a huge burden to carry when guys like me start to retire.
There is still much insecurity about changing Social Security and about who has the better position and plan. In just a few days, America will choose which man and which plan. Next on tonight's CBS Evening News, it was supposed to be the shopping mall of the future. So what happened to the e-tail revolution?
Great place. I like your neighborhood.
Thanks.
Oh,
Sorry.
Time to buy a Galant. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for an entire year on our best-selling Mitsubishis. Hurry, this deal ends soon.
There's a new prescription treatment called Remicade that could change your life by giving you lasting relief from the pain and stiffness of rheumatoid arthritis. Your doctor may add Remicade if you are on methotrexate already and not responding well. You take 1 dose of Remicade every 8 weeks after the first 3 doses. Of course, Remicade is not for everyone. Serious infections requiring hospitalization have been reported. If you are prone to or have a history of infections, currently have one, or develop one while taking Remicade, tell your doctor right away. there's a risk of serious infusion reactions with hives, difficulty breathing, and low blood pressure. Ask your rheumatologist about Remicade or call today.
When we asked some denture wearers why they don't use an adhesive, they didn't have a whole lot to say.
I don't need it. My dentures fit fine, thanks. I've not had a problem in 15 years.
But then they tried Fixodent, and they couldn't say enough.
Makes them feel a lot more natural. I just plain forget I have them. They actually fit better.
That's because Fixodent gives even the best fitting dentures a better fit.
It just proves you never know until you try.
Fixodent, and forget it.
She was killed by falling merchandise in a large home improvement store. How safe are you in these places? Eye on America tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
The CBS Weather Watch shows a whiteout in the northern plains. Blizzard conditions hit the Dakotas, making driving nearly impossible and highways impassable. The Weather Service says another snowstorm could be on its way to the northern plains early next week. On the CBS Market Watch, stocks closed mixed today. The Dow was down about 19 points. The Nasdaq gained 95 as investors snapped up technology stocks they believe were at bargain prices. Many once high-flying tech companies have fallen on hard times, dot-coms especially. CBS's Anthony Mason has the story tonight of a fight for survival on the Internet.
It's back. Boo.com, one of the Internet's most notorious disasters, rose from the dead this week, and Boo's new boss, Kate Bugelin, says it's a ghost of its former self.
The old Boo had more than 400 employees. The new Boo has?
10, and you're looking at most of them right here.
Launched as a hyper-cool fashion site for the hip, the original Boo went bust in just 6 months after burning through nearly $200 million.
The new Boo?
Won't spend that much, let alone lose it.
Last spring, in a fire sale, FashionMall.com bought the Boo name and
memorabilia from the original Boo.
Since then, Boo and many other retailers have been sent back to business school.
I think the biggest lesson people learned is if there's not a business there, you can't pretend that there is for very long.
Is your web infrastructure up to the task?
E-tailers promised a revolution, and a few delivered. The auction site eBay accepts 760,000 new items every day. But the list of casualties, now 76 companies long, is still growing. Gesundheit.com, started as a website, now tells customers who want to buy its breathing products, please visit our retail stores.
Well, someone noticed the emperor had no clothes.
But Larry Ellison, founder of software giant Oracle, says the Internet has revolutionized productivity, and his company showed how.
We saved, by using Internet technology, last year we saved $1 billion. We became vastly more profitable. The Internet's going to be bigger than any of us can possibly even comprehend. Having said that, there's a whole lot of companies that are going away, and they're never coming back.
But Boo is trying. No longer buying and warehousing its own inventory, the new Boo will send its customers direct to a product's website.
Is Boo's reputation a burden?
No. Boo's reputation is a challenge.
The challenge to prove that there is life after death on the Internet. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
Next on the CBS Evening News, the issue that's high on the ballot in Northern California.
Tonight's Market Watch report was sponsored by Fidelity Investments. We help you invest responsibly. Visit us at fidelity.com.
I'm not going to let my retirement growth potential get lost in the excitement of a new job.
These days, people are likely to change jobs 7 or 8 times. Unfortunately, many job changers don't take control of their 401ks and actively manage those assets.
Fidelity's Rollover Express, now online, is an easy way to take charge of your retirement plan savings with access to investment choices and funds with a history of solid performance. Just call 1-800-FIDELITY or visit fidelity.com.
So I can order HBO, right? Yes, sir. Actually, 7 of them. So it's got a pretty clear picture then? 100% digital quality. Football? Up to 13 NFL games every Sunday if you want them. I love you. I know, sir.
Now get free professional installation when you buy a DirecTV system and sign up for Total Choice programming.
Hi.
Also try genuine Bear gel caps, the only gel cap that can help save your life. Bear, take it for pain, take it for life.
Hello, America, how are you?
You know, when you eat good, you feel good.
Healthy Choice helps you feel good.
We're both feeling good.
Because eating right makes a difference. And Healthy Choice soups make it deliciously easy with a surprising new taste. Like Southwestern Fiesta Chicken, classic Italian bean and pasta, and the garden-seasoned vegetable clam. And because every Healthy Choice soup has the nutrition you need, they help you feel good.
I feel good. Don't I look good?
Healthy Choice. Feel good food.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll have the story of a local newspaper editor who made sure every day was an exciting one. That's because he made up the news. We'll have that story tonight at 6.
5 days to go in campaign 2000, and attention is naturally focused on the presidential race and big issues like whose taxes get cut and Social Security. But on Tuesday, voters also will decide many local issues. And as CBS's John Blackstone reports in tonight's Eye on America, in one California county, the smoking hot question is pot or not.
Those campaigning to legalize marijuana in Mendocino County are asking voters to back a rebellion.
We have our priorities upside down. Marijuana is an incredible plant.
In this county of small towns and rugged coastline, Measure G would exempt users and small growers from most marijuana laws.
Alcohol is a far greater problem.
Norm Vroman is the chief law enforcement officer in a county believed to produce much of the nation's marijuana.
It's a good place to grow marijuana. That's what I'm told. Pretty good quality, apparently. That's what I'm told.
Vroman says no matter how the county votes, he'll still be sworn to uphold federal laws against marijuana.
I think the people of Mendocino County are sick and tired of laws that don't work.
Only a few lonely voices oppose the measure.
It sends a very dangerous signal, I believe, to our children.
Marijuana growers like Patrick applaud law enforcement here for its hands-off approach to this election.
A lot of people across this country would say, hearing that the sheriff and the DA both aren't speaking out against this law, they'd say, what are those guys smoking?
They ain't smoking nothing, but they got an extra helping of common sense somewhere down the line.
Many here have seen repeated government efforts to control marijuana fail. Even cattle rancher John Pinchas, a near lifelong Republican, figures it's time to give up.
We subsidize tobacco growers and we give wine growers awards at our county fair, but yet we throw marijuana growers in prison. It's absolutely ludicrous.
In much of the country, a vote to legalize marijuana growing would create an uproar. But here, there's not even an argument against the measure in the local voters' handbook. No one bothered to write one. Voters here say it's high time that politicians listen to the grassroots. In Mendocino, John Blackstone for Eye on America.
And that's part of our world tonight. Coming up on 48 Hours, one of the most inspiring and moving stories we've put on the air in years. A great story of courage and sacrifice. 6 firefighters trapped.
This fire was a monster.
And the desperate race to save them.
My son is trapped in that building.
And there's an amazing twist of fate for the homeless woman accused of starting the fire. 48 Hours. Heroes Under Fire. Tonight at 8, 7 Central Time. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. See you again soon on 48 Hours.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online at keyword CBS News.
How safe are you in warehouse-type stores? Eye on America tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
I love it. That's great. Don't hold back.
Coming up on News Channel 5 at 6, the Bush-Cheney camp is certain they can take Tennessee. So the number 2 man is here making the pitch.
Ask you again, where was George?
At the same time, there are some Democrats who are starting a new attack on George W. Bush.
Plus, a newsman is in trouble with police tonight, accusing of making up the news. The real news is now.
From the News Channel 5 Network. This is News Channel 5 at 6. Your news and information leader.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Clark.
And I'm Vicki Yates. A Middle Tennessee newspaper editor is free on bond tonight, charged with making up the news. Truth is, the allegations are even more serious than that. As News Channel 5's Scott Couch shows us, the editor of Gallatin's News Examiner is charged with committing a crime he was first thought to have been a victim of.